Hi friends, it's Aldana from Elements of Tarot, and I am here today with my 100th video. I can't even believe it. It's amazing. So if you've been along for the ride from the beginning, or if you've just joined me on this channel, welcome. I'm very appreciative of all of my subscribers. I've grown a lot this year, and I'm going to share today my standout decks of 2025. Now, there are about 1,000,001 ways to do this. I know that a lot of people like to do their top 10 decks. Some do top 10 tarot, top 10 oracle. Some do top 10 with honorable mentions. I'm going to do a little bit of both because not only was it impossible for me to choose only 10, everybody says that, but because I feel badly when I don't include decks that I have used. I feel like everybody deserves an honorable mention at least. So I'm going to start off with those, and then I will do what I believe are my top 12. I figure there are 12 months in the year. Why not do 12 decks? That's just how I'm rolling today. So buckle up because there's a lot of decks here. But again, I love and value each and every one of these. I brought them into my collection for a reason. And the ones that are included that were gifted to me, I treasure and I want to show them. So here we go. So I'm actually going to start off with 4 oracle decks. I can almost guarantee that I did purchase and use a few others, but these were the ones that really truly resonated with me and that I actually used and paired this year. So I'm going to start off with, I combined 2 decks by Holler Moon Mountain. The creator's name is Priscilla, and she's a very talented photographer. So she created these oracle decks based on her surroundings on her home, the Holler Moon Mountain. So these are her first 2 decks, I think. It's the Holler Moon Mountain Oracle and then back to the Holler Oracle. And I just combine them. You can see they have 2 different backs, but they are exactly the same size. They're both black and white. I think this is, I think, Holler Moon, and this is back to the Holler Moon. I think the keywords are on the bottom on here and then on the top, and they have 2 different fonts, but I don't care. I use them together and I really like it. So let me just show some of these cards. And again, this isn't going to be a walkthrough of any of these because I do have so many, but you'll get the idea. Preserve, community, wish, friendship, wishing. I love that they're black and white. Oh, there were like 5 or 6 extra cards that she included that were in color. So I threw them into it. Look at that red, it's stunning. But I like that I can kind of sit with the images and think about the keywords are brilliant. They're really reflective and resonate a lot with me. I'm going to be using that word today a lot. Closed, time, between. She puts a lot of love and care into her decks. This did take, oh gosh, maybe 4 weeks, 5 weeks to get to me because she presents them in such a way. She includes, I think there was like melted snow in a little jar. It's like very magical and very personal. She included some, it looked like arborvitae branches. There was a lace kind of spread cloth, and other like quilting squares that the decks were actually wrapped in. It was like such a treasure to open and pour over, and it was worth the wait. So I highly recommend you find her on Etsy and get your hands on these decks. They're very versatile and wonderful. So that's back to the Holler Oracle decks, or Holler Moon Mountain Oracle decks. And I found the perfect Peggy bag for them. This looks white on screen, but it's actually like a silver. So the black, it just matches the photography perfectly. Okay, the next one that I really enjoyed, going from black and white to color. This is the I Am Queen Oracle. I love this. This is by Rockpool, and Weeti Harma is the artist. I love this deck so much that I found the artist on Instagram and followed her immediately, of course. And then I went to her website because I really loved one of the images on here. So I ordered a print of it. I believe she's in the UK. These are colorful. They're all queens. So Queen of Forward Action. This is the Queen of Creativity. The Queen of Miracles. They're just so beautiful. Queen of Alchemy. Queen of Intuitive Knowing. They're colorful and unique. Queen of Shape-Shifting. And they look so beautiful with so many decks. This is the Queen of Receiving. Close your eyes and take it all in. Queen of Taking on the World. Queen of Creating Beauty. Queen of Oneness. Queen of Sensuality. Queen of Pure Essence. Let me see if I can find the one that I now have hanging in a gold frame on my bedroom wall. This one, the Queen of Feminine Power. It is stunning. It looks so beautiful. So if you like this artwork, definitely find her because she has a lot of very beautiful prints for sale. And that is the I Am Queen Oracle. And look at the backs too. I'm loving like fuchsia, red, pinks, oranges. I think that's my color. Those are my colors for this year. Okay, next one is probably one of my favorite Oracle deck of all times. I have never reacted to a deck as deeply as I did when I saw these, when Sasha Lopez, the creator, posted the pictures online. I've lost my grandmother quite a few years ago and my mother about 3 years ago. So I'm still carrying the weight of their losses. And something about this deck, like Sasha's from New York, as am I. I grew up on Long Island, so like a lot of these images and the multi-generational pictures really kind of hit home and made me very nostalgic for the old days when everybody was around and, you know, we were creating memories together. It's a beautiful deck. She has another one out that's a little more recent, The Long Road Home. I think that's what it's called. But this one, this is the one for me that stands out and that I really connect with. I also know that this one I loved, Tend. It's just so sweet. And, you know, I like the 60s style haircut and the mother and the daughter. I don't know, I just really like a grandpa. It's beautiful. It's so beautiful. What I was saying was that she's creating a new collage type tarot deck. She's working on that now, so I'm very excited for when that comes out. All of her productions are beautifully produced, and I really like her style. This one I don't even pair with other decks. I just pull them out and, you know, if I'm feeling a little sad, I'll just look through the cards and have a good cry, and then I can move on. So that's When Olga Speaks. It's a love letter basically to her grandmother. But the meanings and the intention are universal. Okay, and the last oracle that really stood out to me this year was the Priestess Moon Deadly Apothecary Oracle. This one surprised me with how many decks I paired it with. It looked good with everything. Look at these red backs. And look at these edges. They're like plastic almost. I can't explain it, but they're so shiny. They are so durable. They really, I've been riffling this like there's no tomorrow. And they look, you know, brand new. They're really, really great. I haven't seen too many decks with this edge, but I much prefer, I think, well, all right, let me backtrack. Matte edges are still my favorite, but I much prefer this over metallic, which basically wears away the second you use it. But what these are, it's a plant deck, and you get these kind of poisonous plants. But they're almost, they all have like faces and bodies. So it's like the spirit of the plant. So this is the Bogard Posy, and then it gives keywords on the bottom. That's very important to me for an oracle. I do not buy ones that just have like the plant name. That does nothing for me. I'm not an herbologist. I don't know what the herbs represent. I need help. I need keywords. And for every oracle that's like that, you know, kind of I forget which one. Like even Dirt Gems, which I just got, it just has the plant name. And yes, I did buy that one because it's so colorful and I really like the artwork. But in general, if for an oracle deck to be usable for me, it needs keywords. But this paired beautifully with the Thoth Greenie, my RWS decks. I'm trying to think. My black and white decks, because the black background and the white, it looks really good with black and white decks because the colors really pop. Trust That Feeling, Hemlock Water Dropwort. I've never even heard of some of these. But it's very colorful and a little dark, and I really enjoyed it. I got a lot of use out of this one this year. And that is also mass market. It is by Rockpool. It's by Rockpool. Okay, so those are my oracle decks. Next, I'm going to move on to decks that I guess, yeah, I'm continuing with like my honorable mentions. This one is relatively new to my collection, but it's a really great reader. I sang its praises in one of my latest videos. It's the Starlight Tarot by Y Spell. Comes with a nice chunky guidebook. And then I really love the colors in this deck. I went through a blue phase this year. I'm still in the middle of it. And they just are so appealing to my eye. I love reading with them. The cardstock is fantastic. They come gilded. I love that royal blue. It just stands out. And again, this pairs with so many decks. It's a RWS clone, so it's easy to read. And I very much enjoyed using this one. It's very inexpensive. It's under $20 on Amazon. It is selling on Etsy for more, so I don't know what that's all about, but that's from a private seller, so someone's probably trying to take advantage. But this is a really great one. Okay. Yep, got quite a few more. this one I also got a lot of use out of. It's the Heart and Hands Tarot by Liz Blackbird. This is a US Games production. Comes in a nice sturdy 2-part box. And this is another black and white deck. I love the oversized cards. I love the card stock. So it's like Oracle size, I'd say. This is another RWS clone. It's a little different. Some of the images are different, but it's a really great reader. I very much enjoyed using this one. I love how she connects the wands with, you know, a pencil for creativity, strength. There's a lot going on. You have to kind of hone in a little bit and decipher what's going on, what you're seeing. But once you do, like I know them so well now that I don't really have to look too hard. But it's very cool to use. I like it. That's pretty. Look at the 4 of Wands. Yep, so that's the Heart and Hands Tarot. I edged mine in blue. It came out really good. I used acrylic markers for the first time, and I love how they came out. Very matte with a very good coverage. Okay, another black and white US Games deck that I used a lot this year was the Black Ritual Tarot. This one is more true to RWS, but the images have been redrawn, Pixie's images. So it's like the same image, but somebody else drew it, copying Pixie. I love the oversized font. I love the white borders. It's a great reader, easy to read. I don't even have to think about it. But again, it's on that yummy US Games cardstock. And I really, really like it. It's so funny. I literally went from one extreme to the other this year. I went from a bunch of black and white decks to full-on neon crazy colors. Interesting year. That beautiful Queen of Swords. It's very well done. Very, very well done. I love it. And these are the backs. Reversible. Very versatile and enjoyable deck to use. The Black Ritual Tarot. Next is one that I used more towards the beginning of the year. I can't remember when this came out. It's the Void Tarot by Sarai Nissan. It's this beautiful, I edged mine in this like burgundy red. I love this deck. It's super rose petal with silver foiling, so you can easily see the numbers. You see there's a number 2, 2 of Pentacles. The images are tiny. They're a little hard to see, but I just love using it. I love the aesthetic of it. Queen of Wands. I think she just did a Kickstarter, well, maybe a couple of months ago, for an Oracle deck. It's black and white. So that's interesting. I didn't actually back it because I wasn't able to at the time, but I'll probably grab a copy from her once it's out. And I actually prefer to do that these days, so you're not like, so you don't pay and then you're waiting for like a year to get the deck. Not that she wouldn't, you know, fulfill, but I'm just saying sometimes it's hard to wait so long. But then once you get it, it's like a bonus because you've already paid for it. So I don't know. Anyway, I'm sure I'm going to pick it up. But this is the Void Tarot. Another one that I enjoyed this year. Let's see. Some of these are in bags. What's this one? Oh yeah, another mass market. Going with, this is the Zodiac Tarot, again by US Games. And it's very kind of glossy, but I love, one thing I was trying to do this year was learn more about astrology. I didn't do so great, but at least I can kind of recognize the zodiac signs. I'm still learning the planets and the houses and all that jazz. So maybe 2026 will be my year for that. But I bought this deck with that intention, and I fell in love with the artwork. It's really, really pretty. I love the black backgrounds and the colorful artwork. It just hits right home. It's a, RWS clone. I love it. I'm so happy to revisit a lot of these decks. When you have so many, it's like always I'm trying to be more mindful about just moving so quickly on to the next thing, because when the decks do arrive, I'm like all about them. I love them. I pore over them. I examine them. I play with them. I read with them. And I bond with them. I really appreciate all of the different styles and kinds of artwork. Look at that hermit, so nice. So this is the Zodiac. All right, we're 22 minutes in, and oops, and these are just my honorable mentions. I have two more that I'm gonna show in this category. And then we'll move on to my top 12. Okay. Oh, sorry, I have three more in this category. This is not a new one to me. This is my Ancient Italian Tarot by Lo Scarabeo. I've had this for a while. It's a really great little Marseille deck. I love the ornateness of it. The coloring, it's like kind of a muted color palette, blah, blah, blah. Look how intricate and beautiful this line work is. It's stunning. Look at the details. This is a classic deck. I've had it for a couple of years, but I used it a lot this year. I found it. I was going through some boxes and I uncovered it and I was like, oh yeah, why did I remember this one? Look at the Sun card. It's so pretty. And the Chariot. Lots to look at here. Beautiful. That's the Ancient Italian. Highly recommend. Those are pretty backs. Really match my nails. Next is a lovely little square deck that I got a lot of joy out of this year. It's an indie deck by, hang on, White Rabbit Oracle. I found the perfect bag for it. Little square bag. This is the Tarot of the Third Mind, again by White Rabbit Oracle. These are the cool backs. It's a very cool collage deck. I colored it in this deep blue, and I love how it turned out. But this is just, when you do collage right, there's one in my top 2 that I'm going to show you guys that of, like, for me, one of the perfect examples of a great collage deck. But this is one of them too. Queen of Swords, 8 of Cups. It's RWS. It's not too cluttered. easy to read, beautiful images. The collages are just so well done. They're seamless. I highly recommend this one. I'm still getting used to the square format and also the round format. I just got in the, what's it called? Arcana? No, what's it called? I don't remember. It's the one, no, the Folia Tarot, Oracle. And I'm still kind of learning how to lay it out. Look at the Emperor. Isn't that great? Queen of Wands. Five of Wands. So these like unusual format decks, they're not, I like them, I buy them, but I have to learn how to work with them better. I was doing like a 4-card spread with these and it worked out really well. I enjoyed that. But pairing them with oracles and, oh, another thing that I did too, I remember now, I would put 2 larger oracle cards and then stick like 2, like 1 large oracle here, 1 on this side, and then 2. And the 2 together would equate almost 1 oracle card. And it looked visually very nice. Things have to look nice for me to kind of get in the zone. I like how the borders are colored in different colors. And all of these kind of deep jewel tones are my bag. I love them. Beautiful burgundy for the Knight of Wands. Purples, mustards, royal blues, forest greens. Nice. So that is the Tarot of the Third Mind. Okay, and one more honorable mention before we move on to my heavy hitters for this year. This is the Aurora Tarot. This is out of print in this edition. This is her blue edition. But Cocorina does, or will have soon, I believe, her original version of this deck, which was with browns and golds. This one just has the addition of blue accents. It is a Marseille deck. I don't know if you guys can see, but it has like little, look in the middle, you see the little gold foil specks. It's hard to see in this light, but they do shimmer and shine. I love the artwork. I love the blues in this deck, that kind of icy blue to a deeper royal blue. They're really pretty. They're on a great linen cardstock. So pretty. I love this artist. I've been supporting her for years and years. She paired up with Christine Fredheim, I think her name is, to create the Soul Cards Tarot, and that was probably my second or third indie deck ever that I purchased. It was a pip deck. I still use it, though not as often. And it was just black. I got the black version, and it was black with gold foiling. And I remember thinking how fancy it was, and I was so cool. I really liked reading with that deck. And then, you know, in the years following, I purchased some prints from her and some lovely note cards. What else? Oh, her like rune card deck. I've bought spread cloths from her. I love her aesthetic. She does a lot with the night sky, the moon and the stars and things like that. And very kind of fancy aesthetic. Cocorina. She's a cool chick. Okay, so I'm gonna pause this so I can go grab my top 10 and bring them to my table. Okay, I'm back. So what I decided is that I'm going to do 9 decks. I'm going to do a top 3 of these top 12. But the chunk of them are not in any particular order. I just couldn't rank them. It was way too hard. I know I'm such a wuss, but it is what it is. So let's start off with, these are two little decks. They're essentially the same deck with different coloring. This is the Echo Tarot Blueberry and Strawberry editions. I love these little decks so much. Got them on Game Crafter. They are by Tianasaurus Hicks, one of our tarot tubers here. They do come with the 12 extra zodiac cards, which are great. They're done in this kind of lino cut style. But these colors are beautiful, and the cards are very, I guess I should open these too, right? These have a cream background with a blue. I did not edge them yet. Waiting for that perfect blue marker. Gemini, Taurus, Aries, Pisces. Let's see how I can do this. So they're not in order, but you'll get an idea of what they each look like. They're pips with feelings. They're really clever decks, very easy to read. Love the smaller size. They're just stunning. She has one more that's like a cream with black. That one's more classic, but I think I'm good with these. I love the coloring. The blue makes me happy, and the pink and red just fire up my brain. There's something about them. The colors are just like juicy. Love them. They're so smart, so fun. I really have nothing else like them. So I'm really happy that they're both in my collection. It's one of my top 12s of 2025. Okay, next. Next is going to be my Handmade deck by Tarograph. This is my Jean Dodal. A lot of Marseilles in this top 12. I've just realized this is the most delicious papery cardstock. It's such an experience to have a handmade deck like this. I have 3 or 4 now in my collection, and I treasure them. This is like old school quality. There's something magical about holding a piece of artwork in your hands. You know, the mass market ones are cool. I own so many of them, but these are treasures that I'm going to pass down to my son. He doesn't really have an interest in tarot, but he respects that I do. And maybe his kids someday will want to see what Grandma was up to. The blues and the muted colors in this deck are just gorgeous. I love the gradations and the colors. The deck smells good. Sounds good, like when you're overhand shuffling it. I have never riffled this deck. I don't think I ever will. But I do use it. That's one thing. I'm not precious with my decks. I feel like they're meant to be looked at and held and admired, not sitting in a box. So that is my Handmade Jean Dodal by Tarograph. I keep it in this special box gifted to me by my best friend Jennifer. Oops, oops, oops. I love that purple and the like mahogany wood. It's It's really cool. Okay. Next, let's do... Oh, this one was fun. Ooh. So this is the Hong Kong Garden Tarot. This one, I don't even remember where I saw it. Snakes for Hair, Julia Popescu is the creator. How I came across it, it might have been like an Etsy find, or I saw it on somebody's channel, but regardless, the minute I saw it, I was really drawn to it. Beautiful presentation. It's got a really nice guidebook. It is a collage pip deck. It just speaks to me. The artist, I think she was in art school and living in Chinatown in New York City. And I think this was her project, the cards. Oh, I got number 71 of 500. Here's my receipt. The cardstock is unusual, again, unlike anything I've felt before. The backs are like this really glossy linen, I guess, but then the fronts are glossy but less linen-y. They're very flexy, but they do shuffle really well. So I like the simple images. The guidebook is great. It explains a lot of what we're looking at in the cards and, you know, the symbolic meanings. I did a whole walkthrough on most of these decks, but this one in particular, kind of explaining some of the things. So pretty. Definitely gold, which is another theme of my year. I love anything with gold bling or embellishments. It makes me happy. Fancy. Fancy's the word. Look at that devil. Anyway, this is a really fun and special deck. I really enjoyed using it. Haven't in a little while, but it was in heavy rotation in the beginning of the year. And I'm very, there's a QR code. Look at the High Priestess. It's like a little business card. Yeah, so that is the Hong Kong Garden Tarot by Julia Popescu. Next, we have let's do this one. This is a slightly newer release. This is the Crowley and Waite Victorian Tarot. This one is really fun too. This was bought on Etsy, I believe, again. The artist's name is Garen Horner, and he's a photographer, I believe. And so what he's done is he's created this deck using vintage photographs in this like sepia tone. The images are so pretty. The queens, especially in this deck, are gorgeous. But we have Aleister Crowley makes an appearance, Lady Frida Harris makes an appearance, Pixie makes an appearance in this deck, a couple of the occult masters. And it's really fun to work with. I love her. I haven't seen too much of this out there in Tarot Tube, so I'm here to highly recommend it. If you loved the Carte Postale or the Relative Tarot, this is up your alley. It's really beautifully done. I love the vintage feel of it. It's on a matte cardstock. It's really nice. These are the backs. And there's, I think, Lady Frida Harris. Oops. Or maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. He identifies everything. It does come with a, like a pamphlet, and it goes over the different images. So my apologies for not being more up on my historical figures. There's Pixie as the Queen of Wands. She's so pretty. Like her fairy wings. Three of Cups. Yeah, so this is the Crowley and Waite Victorian Tarot. I edged mine in black. All right, we're getting there. Next is another colorful Marseille that brought me joy. This is another handmade deck. This is by Marco Benedetti. This is the Tarocco Milanese Bordoni. It is a beautiful presentation in this telescopic box signed by him. This came all the way from Italy. It has the Riboletti, I think I'm saying that right, I always get it wrong, where the back of the cards is kind of folded over to the front to protect the inside. I don't know if you guys can see, it's like on a hammered paper. It's very textured. I don't know why I'm not focusing. Here, let me do this. Let's see if you can see it in the light. Yeah, there you go. It has like a texture to it, so it feels really good. And when you shuffle it, it has that handmade whoosh. It's very kind of airy. Oh, it's such a joy. I'll pull this out just to look at it and like ruffle it, not ruffle it, you know, shuffle it. But okay, so the colors in this deck are what sold me. So again, it's the blues and oranges and mustards, very much like the Y-Spell deck I showed a little bit earlier. But look at these colors. The oranges, the reds, the blues, the greens. The pips are actually, not that I prefer them, but I think they're so beautiful. Usually in a deck like this, the majors get all the attention. And don't get me wrong, this is stunning, but I highly appreciate the coloring in the pips. Look at those wands and how the colors overlap and meld with each other. It's a work of art. This is a smaller size. The Empress. I want to show you, look at the cups. They're so sweet. Pentacles. Excuse me. Here are the swords. Charming, colorful, special, well made. Those are some adjectives. So that is my treasured Tarocco Milanese by Marco Benedetti. I'm sure this will not be my last deck by him. Okay. Sorry, I'm just putting everything back in the boxes because if not, it will be very hard for me to put everything back in. I'm gonna take a little sip of my drink. Okay, well, 3 of the 4 next decks I'm going to show you are also Marseilles. So for my Marseille fans out there, you're getting a good showing today. In keeping with my theme of colorful decks, this is the Jacques Villeville Tarot by Artisan Tarot. I have quite a number of their decks now. They're all very high quality. They're on gorgeous linen cardstock. They shuffle beautifully. This deck, again, has such a stunning color palette. Purples, mustards, deep oranges, blues, forest greens, grays, like a smoky blue. Yummy. It's just so appealing. Super easy to shuffle. I love everyone's facial expressions. That kind little empress. The Queen of Wands. But just look at the colors in her gown. It's so pretty, and it looks so nice in a spread. There's the Popess. King of Cups. Yeah, this one is special. I love the sun, moon, and star cards. This is the Tower. So it's like a little different imagery than we're used to seeing, but I'm here for it. Queen of Swords. I love the white backgrounds. Very clean, crisp. They did a fantastic job with this restoration. It's just gorgeous. That Devil card. Yep, so that's the Jacques Villeville by Artisan Tarot. The Temperance card. Yeah, it's a goodie. It's a real goodie. Then, all right, I'm gonna say, to be honest, I'm gonna say that the next 6 are my top 6. I keep changing my format, but I'm just looking at what's left here, and I just kind of, it just worked out this way that, yeah, these are probably my, 1, 2, 3, yeah, these are probably my top 6 this year. All right, so this one, I'm sure a lot of you have seen. It is the stunning Tarocchi Italiani, the Matronua Tarot by Valentina De Luca. Wow. Wow, just wow. This was a Kickstarter deck. It is a monster deck. It is huge. So you can see it's about as wide as an oracle, but I think a bit taller. And it's also on that gorgeous paper cardstock. There's no lamination on this whatsoever. It's completely matte, and it's so good. The edges are squared as a typical Tarocchi deck or Marseille deck. But there is no AI here, folks. This is created, drawn, imagined, drawn, and painted by Valentina. These are all, I would say they're all frameable. They're just beyond gorgeous. This is all original artwork by Valentina. And she is so extremely talented. Look at that Empress. It literally took my breath away when I opened it up. There's no like gold foiling or fancy edging. It's unedged, but the artwork speaks for itself. I was hoping to get a backup deck of this, but just when I went to buy, she basically shut down her shop because of the whole tariff situation to the States. She said she was unsure of what was going on, so she didn't want to send anything this way. But I'm still hoping that someday I will be able to get a backup, because I don't know if this will be reprinted, or if it is, if it will be on, you know, like a different cardstock. This to me is perfection. It's just really, really beautiful. A death card. There's a full walkthrough of this deck on my channel as well, so just go back a little earlier and you can see. Okay. The next is another Marseille. This is the, Tarot Arnaud and Ampho, 1801. This was gifted to me by Johanna like last month, I think. I haven't even had it that long, but oh my goodness, there is something about this deck. I don't know if it has her energy on it or just, I like, you know, the images are appealing. I love the blue color in this deck. I think I mentioned before in a walkthrough I did, or it was in a haul video, where I said that everywhere you would normally see black ink, like with the writing, it's blue, which softens it a little bit. Even the swords, they may look black on camera, but they're actually a navy blue. So it just speaks to me. You know, Marseille decks, there aren't that many differences. You know, you kind of get to know the general shapes and directions and designs. But this one is just, I love the blue horses, the blue people. It makes me happy. It feels good. I love shuffling it. It's a good reader. I love the angel wings and temperance. Yeah, it's just one of my absolute favorite Marseilles. It's still available. I actually did buy a backup because, like I said, this one is just very special to me. I got it on US Games, of all places. But I've also seen it on Etsy and eBay. So it is still available if this catches your eye. Highly recommend. It's really good cardstock, really good box. Everything about it I love. All right, we're down to our last four. This is exciting. This is another one that is kind of later to my collection. This is the Trick or Tarot by Duck Soup. So this one I actually got after Halloween. Honey Lou Wilson posted it on her channel. And I was like, gimme, 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 gimme. Give it to me, give it to me. This particular edition is their deluxe edition. He does have more on his site, but they're much smaller. And they have this like second edition that he just put out. They're standard tarot size, and you get to choose the backs. These backs are special, and I believe only to this edition. So this is like a vintage Halloween deck. It is pretty Rider-Waite Smith. You can kind of, you know, get what's happening here in the cards. But I love this nostalgic, slightly creepy deck. The cardstock is really cool. I can't riffle it, it's too big, but I like overhanding it and mushing it all around on the tabletop. The edges they are rounded, but they're pretty square. I don't know if you guys can see, which I like. But all of the artwork is really cool. Spooky cozy, that's what I call this deck. And I have used it even after Thanksgiving, after Halloween and after Thanksgiving, but just makes me smile and gives me that, like, I love Halloween. This whole time of year is really special to me, and so when I bring it out, it just evokes those vibes. So that is the Trick or Tarot. Duck Soup is a company that I've kind of grown to love this year. I also have the Tinker's Dam Tarot and the Zirkus Under the Stars edition tarot. They're just very unusual and fun readers. Every card kind of makes you either scratch your head or laugh. They're great. Really, really great. So that's my Trick or Tarot. All right, folks, down to the top three. Dun, dun, dun. All right, my last Marseille, but certainly not my least. I have two versions of this deck. That's how much I loved it. This is the Bacchus Tarot, 2nd edition by Nova Mundi. This is another deck that was completely remastered, redrawn, recolored by Nova. It's based on the Vandenborre Tarot. And the colors in this deck are, again, spectacular. I'm so proud of her. Like, this is a big job. She has so many decks out. I have another one. It's like a, I think it's called the Mundi Tarot. It's like a double-sided RWS. Go check her out. If you're overseas, look her up, Nova Mundi Tarot, on Make Playing Cards. And then if you're in the States, she has several on GameCrafter. It's worth a look. She does a lot of these historic decks. Look at the colors. Fuchsia, red, pink, chartreuse, yellow, beautiful turquoise and like royal blues. It's a stunner. This is very similar to the V. I think it's the same type of Marseille. You know, remember the Temperance card was different in the V, and the Devil card is very distinctive. Let's see if I can find him. There's Bacchus. So Bacchus and then Major Fricassee or something like that replaced the Pope and the Popess in this deck. I believe the explanation was that they didn't want to offend anybody because there were people in their region with diverse religious beliefs. Yeah, so that instead of the Popess, and we saw Bacchus a little while ago. Also in both decks, the Hangman, I believe, is upright. But the coloring in this deck just makes me smile. It warms my heart. I've used this deck so much. I've put it in so many of my pictures on Instagram. It's a winner, a winner, a winner. If you only get one of Nova's decks, this is the one I recommend. It's so beautiful. Here's that devil with the wings and the eyes. Yeah. So that is the Bacchus Tarot 2nd edition by Nova Mundi, and my number 3 deck of 2025. All right, drum roll. My number 2 deck of 2025 also should not be a surprise because I mention it almost in every single video. This is the Scarab and Dahlia Tarot by Johanna Waldo, who has become a friend of mine. This deck is so well done. It's on larger cardstock. It's a beautiful matte cardstock, very, very durable. It has silver edges, which have stood up surprisingly well. I think I mentioned earlier that I really don't like metallic edges because they wear down so easily, but I've used this deck so often this year that I'm just surprised that they're still hanging on. So this collage deck also just took my breath away when I saw it. I love every single card in this deck. There's not a single one that I don't adore. This card reminds me of my mom. It's her card, the Queen of Swords, but this image in particular with she has the darker hair and yeah. 7 of Wands. It's so well done. I understand what the cards all mean. It's RWS based, so it's easy to read. It's a masterpiece. It's really such a wonderful deck. The colors are bright. I love her backgrounds. Look at that Empress with all of her animals, and she's reading her book. It's like having a little picnic out in nature. Stunning. 10 of Cups, look at that. With the family. 9 of Cups. Very Persian looking. Or medieval. Medieval, probably. Three of Swords. I love that it's not just a heart with 3 swords in it. It's like a whole scene. It's very good for storytelling. It's great for elaborating on readings. 9 of Coins. Look, she's in a garden. Brilliant. Gorgeous. Stunning. I'm running out of adjectives. She still has copies of this deck available, which is shocking to me, but I don't know how many. So if you haven't, this is so pretty. Temperance. I highly suggest you go grab a copy for yourself before they disappear. That's the Scarab and Dahlia, my number 2 deck of 2025. Number 1 collage deck for sure. And my final, first, most loved, most used deck of 2025. Can anyone guess? I don't know. Let me know below if you can guess by my videos, my pictures on Instagram. All right. It's the Ancient Orem Tarot. I love this deck. I don't know why. I mean, yes, gold, shiny, but it's not to everyone's liking because you'll see in a minute. So it's, okay, it's an RWS. It's Pixie's artwork. It's Pixie's font. There's no copyright. The cardstock is excellent. It's based on the backs are her roses and lilies pattern. And then the fronts, actually fronts and backs, are just splattered with this like gold foil. And there's just something about it. It's so pleasing to my eye. It's edged in this light brown. It's standard tarot size. Cardstock is excellent. It's put out by Shuffle Tarot or Destiny. I did find this on Etsy. It is an indie deck, so it's a little more expensive, but not out of control. The most expensive part of it, I think, is the shipping, which is a shame, but it is what it is. So yeah, I used the crap out of this deck. I love it. It just looks so pretty in the morning light. I would wake up and I usually do a few pulls before I start my day. And I just hold it up against the window and the sun would shine on it, and it just makes me very, very happy. It pairs well with so many decks. The standard RWS doesn't, the colors are kind of garish. These seem to have been toned down a little, and then the gold adds another element. So it looks really good with darker, decks with black and vibrant colors. Yeah, pairs well with my oracles, especially that Deadly Apothecary one. It looks really nice. Yeah, so this is if you're still here, thank you so much for being with me this year. I enjoyed interacting with so many of you. All of your comments and likes, again, are seen and truly appreciated by me. I love the friendships that I've made here from the tarot community. I'm thankful for all of it. So, those are, my friends, my standout decks of 2025. I'm very much looking forward to what 2026 will bring, and thanks for being here. I hope that you all have a fantastic day, and thank you for watching.